I've heard nothing but good things about this show. I mean, from the time it like started on Broadway to, even now, it's like everybody just says that they walk in and they nonstop laughter.
Yeah, it's one of those shows that, still this is like in November, it'll be 4 years since I first did like my first reading of this. And it's one of those shows that like even in that time, I still have a hard time like describing to people exactly what they're in for. It's just like a really like the funniest script I've read in years. It has great music. It's just like a great night at the theater. And I think also it's like very rare to see a brand new show that makes it past its Broadway debut and continues across the country. And it's a show that sneaks up on you. All of a sudden you're like, why am I tearing up at this corn show?
And I got to imagine like being up there on stage with all these people laughing. I mean, it's just got to give you like that big bolt of energy, man.
Yeah, I mean it's one of those shows where you know you will laugh for 2.5 hours. It's kind of even if you're like at first you're like, oh, these are a lot of corny puns. Like it just wears you down. It just wears you down with fun and heart and kind of getting back to a simpler set of values that we can all get behind. And I don't know. It's one of those shows we opened on Broadway, and I think we didn't know if we were going to be a hit or if we are going to close the next day. And there was just something that the audience is kind of, I think, we're kind of thirsty for, is like something fun and that all the whole community can enjoy. So it's exciting to bring it across the country.
I have a friend who was in the show, Audrey Cardwell.
Oh yeah, I love Audrey. I
Yeah,
was
we
with
did
her
a show
last
here
week.
in San Diego together.
Oh, amazing. Okay, I mean that's the dream. San Diego's the best place in the world.
It was fun. Yeah, good times.
Yeah,
And she's great too. Yeah, she's the
yeah.
best. I haven't seen the show yet, but you play like this con man. So can you like tell me about the show and who you play? Like, and are you like a Better Saul Call Saul con man or a Harold Hill con man? I mean, you don't have to give it
Yeah,
away. Like if you eventually turn good, you know.
I'm a sleazy version of Harold Hill, I would say, a Florida man version of Harold Hill.
Uh-oh, Florida
Uh,
man. Wow.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's it's kind of a fable where the corn of this town where nobody leaves starts dying, and so they have to venture out and try to find some help. And she finds help in the big city from me, who's posing as a podiatrist. She thinks I'm a corn doctor, and so she brings me back, and I try to kind of swindle the town out of some valuable rocks that I find there. But no, it's a really fun part. It's kind of half Harold Hill. It's very Music Man esque, if you will.
Nice, nice. I saw that show too, which was
Yeah.
good. Um, uh, so you've been in the show since like the beginning. How cool is it to be like, I guess on the ground floor, like of creating like this big Broadway show that turned out to be a hit?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a replacement in my career. I did Jersey Boys for 8 years, which was created out there in San Diego.
Yeah. Were you
Um,
here in San Diego?
no, I wasn't.
Okay.
I joined a couple of years in when they already had won the Tony and whatnot. But that in an actor, as an actor, creating the piece is the most fun. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily get paid that much when you're doing it, but I will never. It's been the most like special experience of my life getting to see a show go from like its early stages, then through its out of town, and through its Broadway run, and then now on tour. It's just so fun to see how it changes, how different audiences across the country like different types of jokes, and like especially in a comedy, it's so fun to keep that creative spirit going. And I think you see a lot of that creativity still on stage right now.
During the Broadway run, you were an understudy for the role you play
Hmm.
now.
Yeah.
Um, how many times did you go on?
It was kind of late COVID, so a lot of times, at the time everyone was being very safe, and if anybody got sick, they would take time off. So we kind of all got a good amount of stage time. I got to do it out of town for a week when we were in Salt Lake City. I got a couple weeks in New York, and me and Mickey Abraham, who was the Lulu understudy, decided to take the tour out on the road because we weren't done yet.
Watching like the original actor play it for, so long. How do you make it your own now? I mean, I'm sure like what he did is like kind of seeps into your brain, right?
Sure. I mean, lucky enough for us, we've been there for so long that we've seen so many different versions, even of John creating this part. But we had such a collaborative process with Jack O'Brien, our director, and Robert Horn, our writer, and Brandy and Shane, the composers. Like every day we would come in, especially in the beginning, we would come in and just everyone was trying to make each other laugh. And so much of those things that people would try would end up on stage. So in a lot of ways, like I do have, I'm on the shoulders of John Bellman for sure. But you always feel a little like you also have been around as he created those notes, those changes with the notes that he was given. So those things and they come out differently in you than they do in him. So it's been really fun to kind of make this new show with new people for the tour and kind of make it our own.
Is there anything major from changes from like the Broadway run to now?
There's one new number.
Oh,
The top
wow,
of
cool.
Act Two. The top of Act Two is different. We had a song that I really liked on Broadway there too, but top of Act Two is notoriously a hard song. What do you want to have people see as they come back into the theater from the bar or from the restroom? So we have a brand new number for the tour that people didn't see in New York, and yeah, but I would say mostly everything else is the same. Robert is always switching out jokes. He loves to like find new, fresh jokes. So he changed some jokes up for this, and he's an encyclopedia. He has lists and lists of of one-liners.
I've never gotten to do a tour, but each city you go in, like the very first night, do you get those opening night jitters again? You know what I mean? Like if you're doing a run, you get the one time.
Right. I mean, what's fun about it is, especially on a tour that moves, a lot of times we do 1 weekers like we're doing in San Diego. Um, the first night is a brand new theater. The sound department doesn't know the theater there very well. The backstage crew is new, so like the first night is I wouldn't say necessarily nerve-wracking, but it's more everybody's on their toes because everything's in a different spot. And that's kind of fun. Like everyone's excited to see you. Everyone's excited to have you in town. It feels like you have an opening night every week. Um, but there are things, there are snafus on Tuesday night, but that's what makes them excited. I also think Tuesday night crowds have become my favorite on this show
Oh yeah?
because it's not a Jersey Boys or a Mamma Mia that people have seen before. The people who really want to see Shucked are there like on Tuesday and Wednesday night because they like went and they bought tickets to see the show that they've been waiting to see. So it's a really fun crowd usually.
I got to ask you about like Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
3,000, it's 3,000 performances
Yeah, 8 years.
playing the
Um,
same
Playing
role,
Bob
Bob.
Gaudio.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was the first job I got out of college. I was 22. I
How
got sent
happy were
off.
you for that, man?
Oh
It was
my
a
God.
fantastic show, and man,
Yeah, and it's like when you're young, you don't understand how long it takes as an actor to get even, even just when they like you, how long it takes to book a show like that. I think I went in 13 times in the span of like 2 months before I actually got said yes to. Um, but yeah, I got sent to Canada for 2 years and I did a year and a half ish on tour, and then I moved to Broadway. So I met all my best friends on that show. I've met my wife on that show. It's like it's a show that has a very special place in my heart, and it's a very special show for San Diego. I feel like I've even come back with the Midtown Men, who were the original four guys, and we got to do a Fourth of July concert with the symphony right on the water there a
wow.
couple of years ago. It was so fun.
If somebody called you up like tonight and said, you need to be in the show tonight, could you do it without rehearsal?
I've had this nightmare, and you know what? You know what the answer is I really couldn't. The music I could do,
Yeah.
but the other day someone asked me what my first monologue was, and I had not a clue what it was. It's like that brain space had to be taken up by something else, and it's just
Mhm.
gone. It's just gone.
I've done shows that last, like the normal sort of 2 to, I guess, 3 month run, whatever.
Right.
And on some of the shows, I'm like counting down how many shows I have left, and just want to be done with it. 3,000, man. I mean, how do you not go like, I mean, it's a fantastic show. Yeah. But I mean, how do you, not go like,
Yeah. I mean, I think I always tell people, even out here, I'm like, the first year is the hardest because you're like, I can't believe we're going to do this again. And I can't believe there are more people that are out there. Um, but you go year by year, really. It's one of those things where you don't mean to stay 8 years. You think you're going to go do something else, but it's hard to get a job while you have a job. And also, it's hard to leave a dream job like that if they keep moving you somewhere new.
right?
Because you're like, well, now I'm a lead on Broadway. Like, this is what I dreamed about. I
Why would I
can't,
leave?
why
Yeah.
would I leave? Um, but yeah, you really got to like rely on each other, and people could have ups and downs for sure. 8 shows a week is hard, even just for 6 to 8 months, let alone forever. And always take vacation. If anyone's listening to this, you're like, oh, I'm not going to take vacation. I'm just going to take the payout later. You take that vacation. You go, be a human for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so just my final question that I love to ask everybody, like, what has been your worst audition ever?
My worst audition ever. There's been a lot of them. Sometimes they don't feel bad until the director starts talking to you and you're like, oh, I really bombed that.
Mhm.
The one I remember the most is the day that I was going in for my final callback at Jersey Boys, I also had a callback for Fiyero and Wicked.
Oh. Mhm.
And I sang all of the first song, and I just like hadn't really like prepared for it because I really wanted Jersey Boys and it was like my big final audition. And I when I finished the song, the casting director, Craig Burns in Chelsea's office in New York, was like, it was great. You sang all of Elphaba's lyrics. But
No.
so I was in there being like, kiss me too fiercely. And you're just not even the right cut of the song. So I always remember that. I was like, okay, well, I'm never gonna get that job. So
Well, that is a memorable one. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, hey, thanks for taking the time to chat with me. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, Lance, thank you.